Test, 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 test.
Second one.
Test, 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 test. Third one. Test, 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 test.
Hey, folks, wait just a minute. You know, I like some good rock and roll. Luther, can you get them to do the music in the background, kill the music in the background? Hey, I'm your host, BKP, and we're up here at Circuit World in Blairsville, and Team FYN Sports and Circuit World of Blairsville present Union Panthers Playback. Union Panthers Playback, first game of the year. I'll get used to this about the 10th game. Thank you to Domino's Pizza here in Blairsville, and also Pepsi for providing a meal and the drinks for the team and the players. Coach Brian Allison has a prior commitment and is not able to be with us. Defensive line coach Luther Jones is here with us tonight. Thanks for being here, Coach.
Thanks,
and we're going to open up. We got number 50, a senior. He's the center. Colson Daniel is with us on the couch. And senior Cannon Hemphill, number 4, is with us. Before we get started, Union Panthers are coming off a season opening win against East Hall, 35-6. The Panthers will be traveling north here. Little backyard rivalry. The Panthers will be traveling north to take on Towns County Indians Friday night at 7:30, and they're coming off a 55-24 win over Hayesville. Now, most of you know, but for those that don't, Union Panthers have been playing in Region 3A, Region 7 for the last 2 years. This year they're playing in 2A, Region 8. So for those that don't know, it's 2A, Region 8. Let me give you the schools there. Social Circle, Union, Elbert County, Rabun County, Putnam County, Monticello, Banks County, and Oglethorpe County. And that is your region this year, 2A, Region 8. So as we get into region play, we will tighten up this show and go over everything, that's going on in the region. But tonight what we're looking at, Coach Jones, let me ask you this. I told you earlier before the show, what I like to do in the opening show, because reality in high school football, a lot of guys graduate, and we remember those great Panthers that went on to other careers and college. They graduate. You come back on in spring, strength training in the weight room in spring, and you get on the field, and you start seeing who's stepping up, who's filling the shoes, those kind of things. And then you've got to work all through off season to translate it on the field. So talk a little bit about some of the people that stepped up, how it translated Friday night through getting ready for last Friday night.
I think just I like to bring a lot of energy and passion, and that's what I've been teaching our guys, is about energy and passion. So I think when I got here in the spring, I think what we were transitioning from is just trying to get more energy and passion in playing, because we have talent. We knew we had talent the whole time. We just had to play a little bit faster on both sides of the ball, and I think our senior class this year has done a great job. Most of them are 3 to 4 year starters, so I think they've done a great job by leading the weight room. And then in the summer, I think we had a great summer. I think we're starting to get guys buy into the system a little bit, starting to see that we have a chance to be pretty good this year. I mean, the guys that are here tonight, Colson Daniel, Cannon Hemphill, Chayton Schaefer, Jackson Caldwell, Alex Scott, Pearson Allison, they've all done a good job of leading, in my opinion. It's just fun to see guys that take it into their own hands to coach each other up. And I mean, today at practice we had some kids say, hey, do this, do that, and it's good to see as a coach that kids are buying into what you're saying and trusting what you're saying.
Well, let me ask you this before I get to the guys. Is it, as a coach, obviously, when you leave the field on Friday night, you had a good win, 35-6 over East Hall. They're a good football team. And when you leave the field on Friday night, you start looking at the takeaways, what adjustments, what you want to work on Saturday morning, and then you go look at the film. But how does it feel when your players actually can come to you and they know the adjustments they have to make before you go to them? Is that happening?
Yes, sir. I think, just to be honest with you, that's just a part of buying into the process,
right.
Trusting the process. Coach Allison's been preaching, trust the process, trust the process. And I think if guys are buying in, they will come to you trying to get better instead of you having to come to them. And I think we got a bunch of guys that just want to get better and help this football team as much as they can.
Colton, Colson Daniel, the center, number 50. Colson, let me ask you a question here. Now, were you the starting center last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the reason I ask this is the guy that breaks away from that huddle, heads to the ball first, and starts looking around is you. The offensive line is a unit. I mean, and realistically, you have some great offensive yards the other night. Running yards, you have good running yards. You have great passing yards. This is not happening unless that offensive line becomes a unit. Do you feel that's starting already, that you started game one with that offensive line as a unit already working together?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. We had our biggest thing Friday night was the penalties. Just little mental errors. And Coach Allison said it in practice. We watched a little video yesterday, and he said it today at practice that the mistakes we made Friday night, everything can be corrected. So it's really big to have that, and the guys playing together is huge. I think the penalties and stuff, the mistakes, I think that'll come as we keep going. But like Coach Jones said, it's all about buying in, and you got to trust you guys that are left and right of you, and we'll be fine.
How many underclassmen do you have on the front line?
Our left tackle is a junior, but it's his first year starting. That's Drake Groves, and our right guard is a sophomore, Aaron Helton. So they're pretty young. It's first year starting, and we've got another senior at right tackle, and Carson Garrett, and Dylan Williams at left guard, and he's a senior. But everybody, I think the other four guys, this is the first year that they've seen some playing time on the offensive line. Dylan come from the defensive line and helped us out when we got in a bind. And but this is really the first time that we've been on the Friday night was really the first time that we've been in a game situation together, because this is the first time that
that's what I wanted to talk about, because actually, yes, you have you have the non-region game, so you got a couple games to play, and that's exactly what I was going for. Is the first time you took it, it translated to a game, because obviously there's 11 guys there, and I respect everyone on the field, but I've always looked at football, when the front line has command, the team can just follow right along with that. So it sounds like you guys really got your heads on straight, good leadership on the front line, but I mean, don't you agree? I mean, I just agree, when that front line is gelling together, that makes it all work. So let me ask you over here. I got Ken and Hempel with me, and let me see. You've got some stats over here I want to look at. Receiver, and let's see. You've got 5 for 70 yards, 5 receptions for 70 yards here on receiving, and your all-purpose yards is 70, 122 total. And I had you down here for you actually play both sides of the ball. You also have 3 solo tackles, a total of 3 tackles, so you play both sides of the ball, right?
Yes,
How
sir.
many guys play both sides of the ball?
I know me and Colson do. Let's see. Chayton Schaefer plays both sides. There's probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 of us that get reps on both sides.
Let me ask you a question on as far as being a receiver, okay? Am I correct? I hope I don't get this wrong. Isn't Allison left-handed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the difference? Because last year I watched him. I watched your quarterback Allison get in the game. In fact, he was in maybe midway through the second quarter at GAC, and he came in midway second quarter at GAC last year, and he actually towards the end of the game, you guys drove downfield and he threw a touchdown pass. I think I remember that right. But you had Cole Wright throwing the ball or taking off.
Yeah.
We never know, right? Taking off
Sure.
around the outside or throwing the ball. Is there any difference with Allison behind center actually working downfield with a left-handed quarterback?
I'm not sure that the hand matters a lot, but a lot of the differences is the schemes, because they're 2 different quarterbacks, and I think just the coaches work and play to their abilities, and that's the biggest difference for the most part.
Adjusting the two different quarterbacks.
Yes.
They have so this year the passing scheme is different. You got 2 different guys back there, so adjusting to that is. Let me ask you also, you guys are playing in 2A, and we talked about this Region 8. We talked about this before the show started. You played the last 2 years, so the last time you played in this region or 2A, you were freshmen, right? What do you guys think about going back into 2A and some of these teams that you're going to see in this region? What teams come to mind? What do you think about playing in this region this year? Go ahead, you start.
I think it's a great opportunity. We kind of took a step back last year, missing the playoffs, and that's kind of we've got bigger goals now. Not just because we moved to 2A, but some of the leaderships come together, and it's not just about making the playoffs anymore. It's not just about trying to get the first round win. It's trying to push deeper into it, and I think this gives us a great opportunity to do that, and that's just one of our goals, to not settle for just the first round anymore, not settle for just making it to the playoffs, but to push deeper into the playoffs.
What do you think there?
Some of the teams that come to mind is a lot of the new teams we haven't played yet. So Putnam, Monticello, and we haven't seen a lot of them, and Elberton as well. I almost forgot about them. So we just got to watch a lot of film. But some teams we're familiar with, like Banks and Raven, and we just got to play hard, and sometimes we don't know what to expect. So we just got to be prepared for whatever.
Well, I like what you said when we opened the I don't know if you call it the mistakes, but the penalties and the things like that. Coach Allison said they're all things that can be corrected. And usually on the first game, it is exchanges. I mean, you're one step away from the exchange being a good handoff, or one step away from being in sync with the receiver, or penalties. And those are all things that happen in first games that can be corrected. So when you come away with a 35-6 win, and your quarterback has how many total yards? 243 or something like that. Was it
243 passing?
Yeah, 220.
220 something passing, and then he added an extra 30 or 40 running. So
right. So
260.
When you come away with the win and what you have, and you have the things that can be corrected, then you can't ask for really any more to open the season. Let me ask you real quick before we go to break, because we only got a minute. Towns County, what do you see on the film? What kind of team are you facing that's different than East Hall the other night?
Coach Jones gave us an overall outlook today at practice, and it was kind of they've got a guard that's pretty good, and the center's not that bad either, and on the defensive side of the ball, it's just something new. I mean, it's something that our coaches have got a good plan for, I feel like, and if we'll buy into that, I think we'll be fine. And that's, we just got to buy into the game plan for this week.
What stands out about Towns County to you Friday night?
They've got a couple good players. They got a different defensive scheme, like he was saying. They play differently on the number 2 receiver, and we just got to watch out, and we got to do our best and wear them down and stuff like that. And we just got to come out and pay attention to film and know our reads and know our assignments.
Okay, folks, you're watching Panther Playback right up here at Circuit World in Blairsville. We want to thank Domino's up here at Blairsville for the pizzas, to the meal for the players, and also Pepsi for drinks. We've had number 50 senior center Colson Daniel here with us, number 4 senior Cannon Hemphill. We're going to have 2 more Panthers when we return right after this break. And Coach Jones is going to stay with us, and we're going to talk a little bit about the defensive side of the ball. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back right after this.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Better days ahead. It's Truck Month at Dave's Chevrolet in Jasper, and we're giving you a payload of savings. Now save up to $13,000 off new Silverado Crew Cab LT, and with Dave's Payment Vacation, make no payments for 90 days. Or save up to $7,400 off new 2018 Chevy Equinox. It's Truck Month in the mountains. See Dave's Chevrolet in Jasper today, the North Georgia Mountains #1 volume Chevy dealer.
Better days ahead, Dave's Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
And we're back. You're watching Team FYN Sports production here. And Team FYN Sports and Circuit World present, in Blairsville, presents Union Panthers Playback. We want to thank Domino's Pizza and Pepsi. With us tonight, defensive line coach Luther Jones. Also joining us on the couch this segment, number 32, senior inside linebacker Jackson Codwell. And number 2, senior safety Chayton Schaefer, okay? And if you just joined us, Union County Panthers. The Panthers are coming off a season-opening win against East Hall 35-6, and they'll be traveling up with a rivalry to the next county, Towns County, to take on the Indians Friday night. Game time, 7:30. Okay, now let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Coach, this is where you're used to being most days. So let's talk about the defense and focus a little more with these two guys here. And the other night you shut East Hall down to 6, shut them down to 6. So tell me a little bit about how this defense, your defensive line, translated from off season on the field this Friday night. And also go into some of the things the takeaways that need to be worked on that you've been looking at this week.
Just like I spoke before, I'm big on energy and passion. I'm big on the little things and trusting the process. So when I came in the spring, I had to get the kids to understand that there is a process, that we do need to do things right, do the little things right. So when we got to the game Friday night, I was really excited about us just doing the small things. Like, I'm big on, and you can ask these guys, running to the football. We want 11 hats to football. We play fast. That's our identity. We're going to play fast. We're going to play physical. I thought the D-line played pretty good. I mean, it's not great, and I want us to be great, so I'm not going to say we played great, because I think that is selling us short. I think we can be a lot better than we were, but we did do some good things. But I just want to talk about, like, Chayton and Jackson, about how they – just their leadership and just how much fun it is to come out and watch these guys. I mean, they fly around, they have energy, they understand the game, and they understand that football don't owe you anything, so you have to give everything to football for it to pay you back. You get what I mean? So they're just fun to watch. They play with their hair on fire. They play with a lot of passion, and I'd go to war with these two guys any day just because I would say they are the leaders of this defense, and I'm just so proud of them, how they played Friday night. I think we don't get complacent. I think complacency is a bad thing, but I think we can keep moving forward, and I'm just excited to see what Coach Cornett and them's got going for us over there at Towns County.
Well, I always say when you leave the field on Friday night, no matter what the score is, and you may have played an outstanding game, but there's something you got to work on Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. That's just my belief, and that's not negative. Is every player needs to come in and say, this is what I can work on today, and the takeaway. Let me ask both of you guys, Coach, let me follow that up because we didn't talk about that in the first segment, but everybody tonight is seniors, and it's very important. I always say the coaches are over here, and this is the sideline, and they yell in there, and some of them yell in there thinking you could really hear them at midfield, but that's where the leadership takes place out there. Between the hash is where the leadership takes place and stepping up. What is the senior leadership like this year? How have you guys stepped up in the place to bring the underclassmen up to play a full game?
Well, it's been awesome. There's been a lot of people stepping up, me, Chayton, Cannon, Colson, but it's fun having followers as underclassmen, people looking up to you. So I mean, it's just a really good thing being a leader.
Well, every once in a while you're going to have a bad play. We don't like to say it, but you're going to have a bad play, and it does. That's when the leadership on the field has to, hey, let's play the next play and finish. Because how do you guys feel? Because I see early on in the season some teams, their conditioning, their strength conditioning in the off season, their practice regimen, I don't see it translating in the fourth quarter. How do you guys feel about being in position, in shape, to be able to finish that fourth quarter? And actually, that's where a lot of teams get separated.
I feel like we're pretty well conditioned. Like going through summer, it's a big thing for Coach Allison. If he sees us tired during the games, he doesn't like it. So 2 weeks ago during our scrimmage, we were real tired. So that was one of the things that we had to work on. We conditioned a lot more the next week in practice, and before every quarter, we want to come out and win it. And if we're looking tired within one quarter or the next one, he's not happy with it.
What did you guys see? Both of you answer this. What did you guys see with each stall that you went, the takeaways? You guys played a great a great defensive game. You gave up 6, okay? But the level of play just intensifies as the year goes on, you're seniors. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like to talk to you like, hey, you're adults, okay? What did you guys take away? Each one of you say, what did you take away and say, we got to work on this week. We were just a step off. Like we talked about offense a minute ago, but we were a step off here or off there. Or say it like, hey, we meet up with somebody that finds that hole, we're in trouble. What are some of them things you guys worked on this week that you took away from that?
I think during the game, we came out strong in the first quarter and the third quarter, but we kind of died down in like the fourth and the second. And I think that was a big thing coming out of halftime especially. We wanted to play a full half the way we come out, the way we started. So I think this week a big thing is just starting the energy big and keeping it throughout.
Just doing your role. If you do your role, win games.
Coach, let me ask you this. As far as what these guys are talking about, what were some specific takeaways from Friday night? You got a linebacker here, you got a safety. What were some of the things that the defense looked at that were the takeaways that you said, hey, as the season goes on and the level of competition gets intense, we got to make sure we're hitting on this and that. What were some of those things?
I think it's just the little things. I mean, it's nothing that we can't fix. It's some steps here, a little step this way. But the game of football, like everybody knows, is a game of inches. So, therefore, the steps can hurt us if we, for example, if we at defensive end we take a J step and we should be taking an Okie step. I mean, this much difference,
right,
but it can cause a game for us. So
exactly.
I mean, I think steps. I mean, our pad level was kind of high. I mean, that's first game. I mean, I think we played a little bit high. I think we tackled pretty good for the first game. I don't think we had many missed tackles, so that's a plus. But steps, I mean, some technique stuff, hands, getting off blocks. But other than that, I mean, it's just little football stuff, fundamental stuff that we just got to keep building on. But like I said, I'm pretty excited about our potential, but potential can also hurt us too. So we got to just keep on pushing too, so where we can get to our fullest potential. So,
guys, you're going to play at Towns County right behind you here. And you hadn't played them in a couple years. I don't know. Have you guys played them as a freshman, or
yes,
you played as a freshman, but you haven't played them the last couple of years? Going back up to Towns County, what is some of the stuff you're looking at on film their offense is going to bring at you? I mean, they did, regardless of the team you play, they put 55 points on the board the other night, so they can get in the end zone. They do have some weapons. What are some of the things that you guys are looking at for Friday night against Towns on that defensive side?
A big thing this week is doing your job, especially with like the option that they run. They run double slot most of the time. So knowing your role on defense and the call, and like thinking about it before the play, knowing what you're doing is a big part, because if one person messes up, that's going to mess up the whole defense, because we all know what we have to do, and if you don't do it, then it's a big thing.
I know this year Towns has got 2 or 3 weapons. I call them weapons. They do. They got a couple standouts that's playing some good football. The team is playing good football. They're well coached. These teams are well coached, and they got a couple standouts. So it's linebacker. What are you seeing on the offense up there for Friday night that's coming at you?
Basically just keying on the quarterback. I know they have a pretty decent quarterback over there, gets out of the pocket and he can run. So basically just focusing on him, what he does, but anything can happen, so that's why linebackers have to be alert, ready for anything.
You got to be ready for him to take off.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I want to come back to you before we close. We've got a couple minutes here before we close. You're back.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like? I mean, you played at Union. I want you to share that with us and share it with people at home. What's it like on that sideline in a different role, but knowing you up there with that team, with that coach, you're with your own head coach and
yes,
you're back. Talk a little bit of what this means to you this season.
It's just nice to be back home. I went away and played 4 years of college football at Kennesaw State, so it was nice. Got a conference championship last year, so it's nice to get to come from getting to share some of my college that I learned in college. Me and Coach Allison bounce things off of each other just because we have that kind of relationship. But it's awesome to come out here, because these are the guys, this senior class and younger guys are the guys that I would go and help coach when they were playing rec ball. I was looking through pictures the other day, and I had, so funny, I was down on the sideline when Chayton and them were playing, and I had Chayton on my shoulder after the game. So it's just cool, and I mean it's bittersweet as much as they think that I get after them, but as much as they probably don't like me some days. But in the end, it's all out of love, and they know that it's bittersweet for me to see how these guys have really just grown up. And I mean, being away for 4 years, I ain't been as plugged in as I am now, and it's just nice to be back. I mean, there's nothing like Friday night football. I mean, playing on Saturdays was awesome. It was great, but there's nothing like playing in front of the community that you're around every single day, that know you by name and know your family. It's just awesome to be back with Coach Allison, be back with the whole coaching staff. I mean, Coach Roxbury coached me when I was in high school too, our defensive coordinator. Paul McBride coached me. He's a wide receiver coach. So it's just nice. Coach Setzer, the offensive line coach. So it's nice to be back around these guys, and just grateful for the opportunity to be back, and just grateful that they let me be a part.
So you graduated up here at Union County. You went to play Kennesaw State 4 years, and you got an opportunity to do some other coaching with another coach, because I think that's important before coming back home, is to see another program run.
Yes, sir.
And you were fortunate enough to play with another successful program,
right?
And that's kind of was good to go from playing college seeing another program run, and then coming back here, and it's been a lot of experience, and that really worked out. Well, I'm happy you're home. So yeah, I think that's great because I'm absorbing the story. So you got coaches over there that coached you.
Mm-hmm, yes, sir.
And these guys, you coached them and helped them when they were in rec ball.
Yes, sir.
All right, and you're back on the field. And it is exciting Friday night. It's like I tell everybody, I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'll be out there on Friday night somewhere until I just can't go anymore. The Team FYN Sports Game of the Week, which you got to find us on Team FYN Sports Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram also, and at Team FYN Sports on Twitter for highlights. I go to the Game of the Week. The Game of the Week is Towns County Indians hosting the Union Panthers. And I had an opportunity also, why I have some Panther fans out there, I'm just going to say it, I had an opportunity Saturday, not Friday, to watch Union Panther football. And I actually got to watch those guys, the 9 and under and the 11 and under, play down at Gilmer Saturday. And I tell you what, there's some up-and-coming Panthers out there that are, Coach Allison's got some teams coming up, all right? So these guys are great, but a little shout-out to the Union Panthers, 9-year-old and 11-year-olds I got to watch Saturday. In fact, we broadcast that live. So if you go to Team FYN Sports Facebook page, you will find the 9 and under and 11 and under Panther game Saturday. I'm your host, BKP. You've been watching Panther Playback. Now, this is our first show. We're here every Monday at 7. Tell all your friends. What we wanted to do with the very first show is just get a feel for the season, feel for the team, what they're coming up against, how it translated to the opening game. And as the season goes on and we get into region play, we're going to tighten this show up a little bit. Thank you, Circuit World here in Blairsville. Thank you, Domino's Pizza and Pepsi for our meal and drinks tonight. And want to thank Coach Luther Jones and all of our players for being here. And again, don't forget, Monday, FYNTV.com, Monday morning, 10 a.m., is instant replay with Dave Garner. Every Monday, live highlights. So this Friday night, I will be doing video highlights of the game, all kinds of pictures and everything, and that will be on Monday at 10 a.m. with Dave Garner, instant replay. Okay, I think that's about it, guys. Thank you. Looks like it's after 7:30. We'll be back next Monday night, and don't forget, come out and support the Panthers Friday night in Towns County, 7:30 kickoff. We good, Luther? Did we do everything?